Yes, it's nice to have you join us on another fresh edition of Focus Live on OGTV. I sincerely apologize for coming out a bit behind our usual schedule. It's just that we have to get one or two things together. Today, we're looking at one of the literary giants, a man with different parts, a man that is seen in different ways and even by governments across the globe. And sometimes ago, somebody told me that the man is a global brand. And who are we talking about today? We're talking about Professor Wole Soyinka, the icon, the first African Nobel laureate in literature, who just clocked 85. My name is Kayode Taiwo, and to look at this quintessential head today, I have presently two with me here. Perhaps two be up to three in the course of this program, hopefully. One, I have the chairman, Association of Nigerian Authors, Ogun State chapter, Mr. Dada Olanipegun. He's also a publisher. It's nice to have you join us on the program.
Pleasure meeting you. Good evening or good afternoon.
All right. I also have on the set here today a former commissioner for commerce and industry, former chairman of SUBEB in Ogun State here, and one of those that are relatively close to the Kongi himself, Lisa Additional Adejobi. It's nice to have you join us on the program.
Thank you very much.
Now, like I said, we're looking at the man Wole Soyinka, the icon, on the program today, and clocking 85, well, fine. Quite a number of people have also reached that 85. But to what extent are these personalities actually impacted in our society like we have in Professor Wole Soyinka? And that's what we are looking at as part of our celebration of the Kogi himself. Let me start from Mr. Olanipegun as an author. And I know that when you talk about one of the greatest authors we have in Nigeria, Professor Wole Soyinka is one. Let's start from his contribution to cognitive development through literary works, because in the first instance, his Nobel laureate is actually in literature. What kind of a person is this man called Kogi?
Well, he's a literary giant. Terror of unruly leaders. He's an icon. A deeply creative person. A person you can never just talk to anyhow. He believes in humanity because he has humility. He believes in justice. And this is a global man, the first Nobel winner in Africa. Take a look on immediately after he won the Nobel Prize. In Africa, after him, others came into being, winning the laureate. But since then, we take a look and he's a giant of Nigeria, a giant of Africa, a giant person in the whole world. And when you take a look on him, let me just be immediate now. I was with him on Saturday and Sunday. He doesn't see people during his birthday. He only sees you the following day. There was a program for nothing less than about 600 plus students organized by Wole Soyinka, this organization, which was established by Karim, right?
Yeah.
And now he came out. He doesn't just allow his privacy to be just anyhow. For his humility, he stood at the main entrance of his sitting room and virtually welcomed virtually everybody, shaking his hands, telling you to go through his sitting room before we go into his amphitheater. I was shocked. This is amazing. That would be the first time Soyinka will just throw his door, just anyhow. So that is part of his humility as a person. And when you look at this person, when he whispers, not to talk when he roars, right? The idiots become somebody and think and immediately switch on. Right? You can't just handle such a person. Somebody who has written more than 40 books. Somebody who has been recognized the world over. And when you look at the advantage of language in him, apart from Shakespeare and Malowa, is the only person who has command of language in the whole world when it comes to English language. And this is a Nigerian. Aren't we lucky to have a giant of a man like that in his life?
All right. But, listen, we've had a little bit from Mr. Rani from the aspect of his literary work. Now, I'm very sure that it's not all writing, researching, and all of that that Professor Wole Soyinka is all about. I know that he has some soft spot for culture, paintings, and all of that. But let's look at Professor Wole Soyinka before he became a Nobel laureate. What kind of a person did you see in him as an associate?
Well, thank you very much. Mr. Lanipeko has touched on a little bit of some of the things that I know has really distinguished Kogi all of these years. After I have associated with him for over 50 years, I still find it very difficult to find a word. I can't grasp that word anyone can use to describe him. Is he an enigma? Is he a cultural person? Is he, what kind of person is he? And I know that a lot of research has probably been going on about him. I have not yet seen a human being who cannot tolerate one single atom of injustice around him. Even in his home, it is not possible. And then, apart from that, you now look at courage, an epitome of courage. You look at a person who will just leave his country, leave his part of this country, and go where a war was ravaging. He knew very well that if he was caught, he was going to be in serious problem. But because he saw that it was just impossible to go on what was going on, referring to the Nigerian Biafra War, he went in there into the thick of the war. Of course, he was arrested, he was jailed, he stayed there for 3 years, and it is no more news that it was there that he wrote his book, The Man Died. I'm sure Saleh must have a book that I have not been able to finish it. You take it up, you read it, you put it down again because you get to a place where you never understand what he was trying to portray. This is a man who the English people themselves will read this book and put it down and phone him and say, what's the meaning of this? And that's why I say it is so difficult to find a word. He was so moved by the injustice that was going around then that even in prison he didn't give up. So, courage, you look at that. And the humility that he has described, he has impacted that in all of us. Yeah, he has impacted that. Like I said, you could not elevate yourself unnecessarily in his presence or wherever he associates with. And that's why in 1958, when he started the Paris Confraternity, there were just 6 of them started it. And no uniform, nothing special. In fact, I remember when I was going to go for the interview, I was asked to be, I was looking at the other clubs
In
on
1958?
the campus. Now, it started in 1958. No, I joined in 1967.
Oh, okay.
No, yes. But I'm saying that I was looking for, others were looking for clubs where you had to go wearing proper suits, putting on your proper ties, and your wristwatch must have some significance. Your shoe too
Must be shiny.
It must be shiny, it must be different. I won't mention the clubs on air, but you couldn't go there and pass any interview. I didn't have a shirt, I didn't even have a suit, I didn't have any shoe, and I went. I was surprised when I was.
It was meant for the people you can call the commoners.
It was we the commoners then, and we who could identify unnecessarily with wealth, we could identify with, injustices happening on campus then.
Okay, we'll see look at that aspect of Professor Wole Soyinka as we move on this program. But we'll take this short break, and by the time we come back, our top guests will be joining us so that we could just be on this march together to celebrate this literary giant. So don't go away, we'll be back shortly.
I just want the papers, please.
Sir.
Salary don't enter. Yes, so. And month never even return. Na salary plenty, oh. No wonder I no gree collect Roger from my hand. Shut up, sir. I'm here to bail my younger brother.
With good laws,
proper funding,
Training.
and cooperation.
If it happen.
Fruits and vegetables are highly nutritious for human consumption. They contain essential vitamins and minerals required for human growth. However, the fruit becomes contaminated to human body due to the activities of some people who engage in artificial ripening of fruits and vegetables through the use of chemicals. Consumption of such poisonous substances could lead to fatal health conditions like cancer, liver and kidney problem, eye problem, and so on. Artificial ripening fruits could be detected by careful examination of the fruit item to ensure that the color is naturally uniform. Artificial ripening of food is dangerous to health. Anyone caught in the act will be prosecuted. A word is enough for the wise.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to Steve Focus Live on OGTV. Right here, and also joining us on the program today is Mr. Dada Korede, who is the secretary of the Ogun State chapter of Nigerian Association of Nigerian Authors, Ogun State chapter. It's nice to have you join us on the program.
Thank you, sir.
We're actually looking at the personality of Professor Wole Soyinka. And you actually met us in the course of the discussion, and very shortly I'll be coming over to you.
Thank you.
Now, you in the course of your response earlier on, you mentioned that Prof impacted on us. That's us that you used. Is what I don't really get, because I want to believe that he's a person who has impacted on so many people. But when you now say us, is there anything behind that your us that you are talking about?
Well, what I meant by us, some of us joined the private confraternity at that time in the University of Ibadan. Impacted on a lot on us, but subsequently on the society. Because by the time we left and we all went into a different parts of the world, we could not shake off any of those qualities that we had taken from him. That was what I mean by our us. And up to now, we are still impacting in the society. We are still ensuring that we will fight whenever injustice abounds. We are still ensuring that we will look at anybody in the face who is trying to oppress the poor and the downtrodden. And I think that is what he's still doing up to now. And that is what is still keeping him going. So not only us by that inference, but us in the larger society subsequently, and us in the fact that he's still alive is still a symbol of everything that is good in the society.
Okay. All right. Now, let me come to Mr. Corey straight away. Now, in your absence, the efforts of Professor Wole Soyinka in terms of literary works has been espoused here with over 40 books. I mean, that's no mean feat. But beyond all of this, that he wrote very well and all of that, do you also see him influencing around him the community, in the country and the globe through his writings? How much of influence does his writings really have on the global space?
Well, thank you very much. Influence of Professor Wole Soyinka on us, permit me to use the us again, is an understatement. Right from my secondary school days, I have access to his poems. I have access to his writing. As a matter of fact, people say the man died, writing the prison notes by him was difficult, but I accessed it even in the secondary school. So he has infused that spirit in us to be bold and to stand up for justice anywhere. So the organizers of his birthday, honestly, I give kudos to them. And in recent times, Anna has been part. And you could come around and see assembling people, students, young minds from all over the country. And they're all there to espouse the cultural exchange. And then hosting them, no discrimination from anywhere in the country, be it Borno or Katangora, Ondo, and all over the world, all over Nigeria rather. So Soyinka's influence among the youth cannot be underestimated, because we've learned to follow his larger-than-life steps. He will speak it. Take it or not, he hears his mind. So that's where we have imbibed, and that's what should keep Nigeria going.
Okay. Now, Mr. Lanigan, let me shift a little bit from his literary work. I still recall that when they started what we now call road safety corps in Nigeria, he pioneered that effort. Are you seeing that Professor Wole Soyinka touch that he brought into that particular service to the nation at that time, still presently in what we have in terms of the objective of that particular agency?
I think you have forgotten something. It was at the University of Ife, and he witnessed how students died on that road. That is the humanity in him. That is the background of why he accepted to have the road safety concept. Okay. And you have forgotten something about Kongi. The creative muse in him is Ogun, the god of creativity, god of destruction, god of lyrics, mythology. He believes strongly in Ogun. Ogun as a creative god. Ogun also as a destroyer brings a lot of things. And when you see in those days how these motor park people worshipped Ogun, you will see that person in Kongi. Hence, the creative aspect of the road safety. When he was there, he was a marshal. There are other marshals like him, right? He brought in many people, and you could see that there was sanity on Ibadan Ife Road. Subsequently, the Oyo State government decided to bring that into the mainstream so as to save souls. That is Soyinka in you. But straight now to your question. Now, there was one stupid person, I don't want to mention his name, who assumed he would destroy him.
And this, your word too, it's not too
friendly, right?
Like this.
Thank you, because that is the Soyinka in all of us, right? Okay. There are always Soyinka in every writer. I've written the Soyinka in me. There's Soyinka in him, there's Soyinka in him. Those of us who believes in his principle, his concept of life, his approach to situation in the country, I will only brought the issue of culture and him, which has established him far better, because he can never do without Ogun, the god of creativity. And if you look at when he won the Nobel Prize in 1986, he read a word. He referred to Ogun, comparatively comparing Ogun with the Nobel man, who brought in, who created awards, who also got money from destruction, getting guns. You look at Ogun as a transfer to Sweden, and they translated his work Idori to Ogun Skuka. Right now, straight to your question. The other way around of road safety, I'm not impressed, because they've lost credibility. Agree that they had to recruit people. Immediately Soyinka left, sanity was no more there. That's the truth. Except there is a need to rejiggle or re-engineer road safety. There will be respect. When you have some of them who will just stop you, who don't have the concept of approach of how I've been driving, I'm tense up, I'm stressed, and all of a sudden you stopped me. You start asking questions. Definitely I'll be more stressed. And you have assumed that, oh, I'm controller of Ogun Road. You are not controller of Ogun Road, right? So the essence of there's a need for reorientation of road safety men. There's a need for re-engineering and re-strategizing. I agree that they are doing a wonderful job, I must confess to you, because at times there's a need for us to be controlled a little bit, so we will not die. But now the issue of fastening your belt has been acculturated. That's part of the plus for road safety established by Kongi. I think Kongi, when you take a look on Kongi, do you take a look on Kongi as a literature man? Do you take a look on Kongi as a culture man? Do you take a look at Kongi as a filmmaker? Do you take a look at Kongi as a prophet? Not your prophet we have these days. Well, because you take a look at Kongi as a prophet. When Bola Ige died, he said there was a nest of killers. Was there no nest of killers? Even when the situation of the academics, the issue of higher institution, he said there should be a need for us to let these students go on break for certain years so we re-strategize again, right? And when Abacha was behaving, one of those terrors of rulers we have, now he ran away. Because only a fool keeps quiet in the face of tyranny. That is him, to quote him. So the issue of road safety is
just one of those contributions he had.
One of those contributions. Then when you take a look on his film, too, because we are not looking at him too from the aspect of cinematography, right? For his film, he has produced Kongi's Harvest. That's why we call him Kongi. He has produced The Prodigal, The Blues for the Prodigal, just as somebody, as a crusader to sanitize the community called Nigeria, right? There are quite a lot of things about him, please.
About him. Certainly we know there's a lot of things. Now, Lisa, you see, there's one thing about this prof we are talking about. A good number of times, it comes out to raise issues on the political landscape of our country. Most times he says things and he says it just like you are all testifying to now. But why do you think Kogi has not found himself at the driver's seat when we come to democratic?
A lot of us really. He's not a politician. I'm sure you know that.
But he wants the best for the country.
Yeah, well, that's another dimension. We don't all have to be in the driver's seat to be able to do something for this society as he's doing right now. But he's just naturally not a politician. If you take a politician in the normal mode or in the normal Nigerian or African mode, he's not a politician. Everyone believes that if you are a politician, you must be a liar. You must be a pseudo person. It's a person who does not have any principles. You must be one who can also cheat. You must also be somebody who can go there and embezzle the people's money. You cannot identify with that kind of thing. So anytime you are going to politics, some of us have gone to politics, some of us have always told you cannot do it. It is not possible.
If people like Wole Soyinka cannot do it,
yes,
and we are all clamoring for the best of democratic development in the country.
Yes.
So
are you saying that this political landscape can change just because WS knows how to speak grammar?
No, if you have,
it is not possible.
If you have a leader that himself
showing example. Are we following examples? Look how the righteous, fairly righteous leaders that have come. Where are they? They have gone. And we want him around a little bit more. He's not afraid of death from what you can see of him. From what I said at the beginning, very courageous as well. But he cannot. Okay, look at people like Ganifa Wahimi, who went to the National Conscience Party. Was he able to do it like the normal politician? I was in National Conscience Party with him, and I saw the way he was doing it. He couldn't have won any election. How could he have won?
I think
even Kongi, he started a political party.
PDP.
Yeah.
PP was it with Amino Kano?
Yeah, he started
PRP.
Yeah, something like that.
He nearly joined PRP.
Yes.
Right.
But he then went to form something of his own. I can't remember the name.
I think there's something you have forgotten about a writer, right? An ordinary man has two eyes. The writer has the third eye. We call it Ojuno. Right? He knows what he wants.
Okay.
Right? And he believes strongly that there are certain steps to be taken. And he took that step by the PRP concept, which never worked. Right? He said Gani Fami, fine. Gani tried, Gani failed, because Gani is a radical. Soyinka is a radical. And you look at how can the radicalism, when it comes to the complex country like Nigeria, work. It's not possible. In being fair to him, the Democrat in him joined democracy in terms of PRP and other. But when you take a look at his comments, he makes strong comments. He drives his point home, and his hard knuckle on those that are not doing it properly. Right? And when he roars, you know, he roars at times, and most of the time he roars like a lion. And you see this person, yes, respect is there. And when he roars, even if the so-called terrorists of people in power are pretending to listen, the world all over will listen to him.
Sure.
And they will now make their comments, because they monitor somebody like him speaking. Then they queue after that, and they tell whoever is in power, your government is this, your government is that. You better do this, you better, because they know that it will snowball into something terrible. So even if he's not a practicing politician,
He's practicing it.
Yeah, and it's clear.
And
It's very clear by way of life.
All right.
Let's just say he's not doing his, sorry, Mr. Ada. Let's just say he's not doing his politics. His way of life, he's satisfied with the way he lives. He's satisfied by the fact that he's showing the example that he should show. Whether they are now listening to him, whether they are now actually seeing or getting at what he wants to achieve in society, if he dies tomorrow, he must go with some quieting.
I think you are right, because on Sunday when he was speaking to about more than 85 students who came all over the country, they asked him several questions, several intelligent questions, and he said what he enjoys most is his privacy.
Yes.
What he enjoys most is sitting down, thinking, and working.
As a writer.
Right? And he didn't talk about his wine, because I know he enjoys a lot of it.
In fact, maybe this discussion may still get to that one. Because we are really looking at the totality of this man called, because it's just not an icon, it's a phenomenon.
Yeah.
That's true.
Now, Mr. Korede,
Yes,
now,
sir.
Mr. Olanibegu just said something that he likes his quietness. His residence itself is inside the bush, and I recall that sometimes ago, the government in Ogun State wanted to pave the way, and said no, let it just be the way it is. Wole Soyinka is also a hunter,
That's true.
and is a literary giant. Does all this correlate?
Yes, but let me go back a little bit to the discussion, earlier discussions by the two gentlemen.
Okay.
In the corridors of politics, all of us may not be the president. There are some people who sit and become the conscience of the people.
Sure, yes.
And that's where Kongi belongs. You see, we cannot all. So there are some of us like he said, we cannot steal. Some of us cannot lie. And as a politician in today Nigeria, you must be able to do all these things and call black white, so that they can applaud you. And those that applaud you just want to take your money and perhaps foster the nepotism in the whole place. There are a lot of nepotism here. But you have to employ your wife, your son, everybody. All the generations are in the same employment. So we see all these things. But Kongi can never settle in any political office. You know why? Apart from being radical, I'm not sure he wants to be associated with protocols. The eccentricism in him will not accommodate protocols. And the whole civil service is bogged down by protocol. You see, too much protocol way down a system. And I don't want to go into bureaucracy. Of course, organizations will have some bureaucracy. But the way it's run in Nigeria, the protocol is too much. And I believe that's one of the reasons he opted out from road safety. You started a thing, you allocate 1,000 naira to you, you have to retire, you have to retire 50 naira before you collect 100 and things like that. Your idea, your baby. So at a point in time, they will smear you. Look at Taiso Lane of blessed memory. The man's policy was that he was not going to wear agbada until something changed. But Bangida brought agbada when he was made the chairman of People's Bank. You know, the government and those who want to be in leadership by all means have a way of rubbishing one. So such man cannot be there. And that's the truth. So, and that's what some of us believe in. Some of us believe in the conscience of the people. We shout, we talk, for the powers that be to hear. We are against injustice. We are against all this kind of nepotism and what you have in our environment now, in our working environment, our social environment. Imagine somebody award a road, you know, and the report is that the road has been completed, whereas it's not done. And every 3, 4 years, they keep re-awarding that road. Because the populace are not aware to know the extent to which the damage has been done. They are collecting the money. And when eventually they do that road, what they do is to just do it to last for just 2 years. In the next, the second year, we wonder if anything was done on this road. Is that the kind of politics we want Soyinka to join? So these are some of the things.
Okay.
I think, let me just, because Chief said his literary work, the toughness of his literary work, I disagree with you. Because if you read him properly, you understand them. As a cultured person, properly. Because no. The question is, there are some of his works, like Child International, the Kings and when you look at the research he did, and you read it thoroughly, maybe once or twice, then it shocks you. Then it allows you to come properly to him as a person.
Okay, sorry. I could see that some of these calls are already coming in.
Okay.
We'll maybe take one or two calls because of Hello. Are you still there? Hello. That one too also gone. Yes. Now, there's one thing, though I could say that as authors, I know that this is your territory, and that's why we have all these books here. We might still have, maybe to look at maybe one or two of those books.
Okay.
Yeah, that Professor Wole Soyinka actually did. Now, but if I take recent,
Even as a lecturer, if you look at our PC, for instance, was started as a means of preserving our culture, as a means of ensuring that our culture is not eroded. As a means, if you were going for supper, for lunch, when after your lunch, normal lunch, you will still go for tea in the afternoon. But when you went for that, you must put on your tie. You must ensure that everything European was about you. But if you belonged to what he tried to do at that time was, must you wear a tie? Why must you wear a tie anyway? If you are going for this afternoon tea that we are going for, must you be in tie? A lot of things that it was I think during the colonial period, during their own time before we went to the university then. Everything there was nothing Nigerian about them. There was nothing Nigerian about us. And if you look at those who left university in the 50s and late 60s, and they left university, they could not adopt into the society. It was not possible. And so, culturally, he tried as much as possible to imbibe culture into his people through his drama, from what a lot of people who Mr. Lankweku and Mr. Kode will know a lot more about that. Through his drama, you could see it. Through his books, you could see it. Some of us had to go and watch his drama a lot of times, like The King and the Horseman. I watched it so many times. I watched a few of his. A lot of time because we had to go at that time. So I think that culturally, his many parts can just not be enumerated. You cannot quantify the parts. Yes, impossible.
I think on arts and culture, right? He did a lot of research, and he got certain research money through certain foundation. to do a lot of Yoruba research on Yoruba gods and goddesses. That's why he loves Shopono, he loves Shago, he loves Ogun. Yeah. I like that. That's a smart question, right? Yeah. If you want him to communicate in Yoruba, he does it.
Of course.
He speaks fluent Yoruba, right? As listen. It's like saying Ngugi wa Thiong'u should write in Swahili. There was a time Soyinka was projecting that Swahili should be the language of Africa, right? The issue of writing in Yoruba is a different thing, right? It has quite a lot of what do we call it? How to get across to quite a lot of large audience, right? And if you want to get across to large audience, you can't just go to a level of saying I'm writing in Yoruba alone. It's like we have the Fagunwas. Can you say Fagunwas should write in English alone? Right? We have Odunjos. So I think his aspect and concept of writing in English is the only language that is far better for him, because he's master of it. He's king of literature. And if you are king of literature, there are certain aspects of your creative writing that must face when it comes to the issue of language, right? And communicate properly. Some of his works have been translated into Yoruba. We have some of our colleagues who have done that, who have translated his works. It's like Idamu Padi, yes, written by, what's the name of this writer? I've forgotten his name now. He's one of our members, right? So you can translate Soyinka's works if you want to do that. And some of the Hausa brothers are even translating some of his works. It's like telling me now that Ashebe must write in Igbo, right? Right? If Ashebe had written in Igbo, would I have been able to read Things Fall Apart? Mm-hmm. Or would I have been able to read some of his other works? Right? So I think we have to be a little bit careful when it comes to issue of language. Right? He communicates properly. That language he understands better and stronger. I mean, because I said, apart from Shakespeare, apart from Malawi, right? Soyinka is the master of English language in the whole world. Right? So he's our own WS, as he said. William Shakespeare, Wole Soyinka. So WS, and he's also from WS, Western State. I think you are right. Now, I think, let me check in this one. I like that. He's also from Western State. I think the government of Ogun State is lucky. Okay. Right? Because when you have a giant, a titan, an icon of literature all over the world, the Ogun State government must now, the current government must look for a way to romance him. I know you refuse that. To look for a way how to benefit from literature, not only economy. You've said it, arts and culture, not only dancing. That's why he was brought into Drum Festival. No, the last administration brought him into Arts and Culture Drum Festival as a consultant. I think we were lucky, because if Trump had not spoken rubbish, Kongi wouldn't be in this country. It's either he will be in US, but this, you said the other time, he said you would tear his passport. I think it's to our merit that within the past 3 or 4 years, Kongi has been more at home. I think I'm luckier for it. You are luckier for it. All right. Yes, now, Mr. Akorede. Yes, sir. Now, okay, since we are gradually coasting home now, you are a member of the association that this man has done so well. Yeah. Now, let's now look at him as an author now. Fine, we have talked about what he has done. But if you are looking at it from the perspective of your group, as people who do extraordinary thinking to put pen on paper, yeah, to what extent has he really influenced many of your members in terms of what they put down and all of that?
Yes. Again, we cannot even say title Wole Soyinka is this in terms of the mastery of literature. He's into all of the genres. Talk about drama, talk about poetry, talk about prose. He's in all of them. Well, you just mentioned.
Does it have any influence on you?
Of course, yes.
And which aspect of your writings? Is it prose, poetry?
Yes,
I
I see Wole Soyinka as a, to some extent, to my own understanding, it's a bit Eurocentric.
Okay.
Yes. So
our listener at home, we want to.
Is Afrocentric 80%,
okay,
and Eurocentric 20%. Some of his works, some of his research materials, if you go through it, you discover that it's been 80% Afrocentric. 20%, because I have to defend that. Please do. Right.
Okay.
It borders on, that's the question you raised. He has written in
English,
any Nigerian language. To that extent, it's Eurocentric.
Okay.
But look at it, even the translation of the Forest of Thousand Demons from Dio Fagunwa's Gojo Mole. That's a lot of influence on Yoruba language. For instance, most of those terms in Yoruba that we may not know in English, you read that book, it's exposed. You know Gomins, you know all this kind of, all those names. So to a large extent, these old scholars will cherish that kind of work in translation. And there's one thing that struck my attention.
Okay, let's be brief about it,
okay,
because of our
in
time.
the introduction to that work,
yeah,
they tried to talk about translation. You know, that work was translation, that the Forest of Thousand Demons, the Forest of Thousand Demons, Irunmole is not 1,000.
okay.
So it's an approximation of meaning. So to what meaning exhaust, Irunmole is not. And Ogojo Denugbe Irunmole, a Forest of Thousand Demons. And Irunmole, they are never demons.
Okay.
But to scholars,
we are very sure we cannot exhaust. we cannot exhaust.
So
in one hour. But before we go, I think we have one special, a quick.
Take.
Yes.
I said there is that Soyinka in all of us, especially writers.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. I've done my own beat, the Soyinka in me. He should write his own beat, the Soyinka in me. Now, Kongi Eniogun. This was written when he was 82. Maren, you will not walk when the gods are angry. Prayed paternal grandmother, and godmother named you Akinkoyi, Koi, Koyen, Lagi Lagi, Aji Lagi, Ọkùnrin Jẹ́jẹ́, Ọmọrúìdé, Ọ̀tọ̀lórin, the one that walks apart. Wole, Méje lògún, Méje nìrè, Ògúnmọnírè, Ògún, 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 the wonderful creative God of iron. 7, mythical like mystery. Méje, 7. Kongi, you clocked 7, like 7 plus in 212. Maren, you are then 7 like creative 7. WS, now you are 82 creative wars in years. 290, it's not 85. This was written in 1982 when he was 82.
All right.
Many days, many months, many healthy creative years are your portions. Koyi, Wole, our own WS, our own Ijegba, Prof, Méje lògún, Méje nìrè, may your God Ogunonire protect you, prolong you, preserve you. Eni Ogun, Ashe.
And that's special prayers and a special quick take for Wole Soyinka at 85, and we all hear from General Manager Mr. Festus Kennedy and all management staff. We are saying congratulations to Professor Wole Soyinka. And I have to thank my guests in the house today. For sure, Professor Wole Soyinka is not a man we can actually finish discussing in 1 hour, but I'm very sure that our guests in the house today have done great work on this discussion. I thank you, Lisa Adejabi. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's nice that you come on the program. I also thank the chairman, Association of Nigerian Authors of the State, Mr. Dada, who is also a publisher. Thank you for coming on the program. And Mr. Dada Korede, the secretary of the State chapter of Association of Nigerian Authors. We also thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
Unfortunately, the books here, we can't really push around. Next week is another time on this program. Until then, I say bye-bye.